Could we have everybody mute? There's too much background music. Noise.
Yeah, and Miss Harkness, you can mute everybody if you want, except there you go.
Hold on, Brooklyn. Jersey. Your lap. We gonna out him up in here.
Oh, I got no basketball team.
Hi, Miss Cameron.
La directora. She was my student when I was at the. Oh.
How are you?
Okay, la directora. I'm good. Okay, mute and I'll talk to you later. La directora va a presentar la información sobre kinder y pre-kinder. Si ustedes tienen preguntas, escríbelas en la chat. Abajo de la pantalla hay un botón que dice chat. Puede escribir las preguntas en español y vamos a responder luego.
Ask once again if everybody can mute themselves, because there's quite a bit of background noise. Once again, I want to welcome you to Glendale's pre-K and kindergarten information night. We're going to go over several things. So hopefully you have some pencil and paper ready, but this also will be recorded. So if there's anything that you missed, you can actually go back on our website and look it over, or absolutely you can give us a call at Glendale. We'll make sure you get that phone number. If you haven't already, could you sign your name in the chat?
Por favor, usa chat para firmar, para documentar que está aquí en la junta. Y vamos a presentar la información, pero si ustedes tienen preguntas luego, vamos a dar el número de teléfono de Glendale.
Okay. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce myself once again. Of course, I'm Mrs. Harkness. I'm the principal. I'm not sure who you are all seeing, but Mrs. Donnelly, if you could raise your hand. Mrs. Donnelly is our secretary. Mrs. Kerrigan, she's our instructional coach. Unfortunately, tonight, our half-day kindergarten teacher lost her voice, so she couldn't join us tonight. We also have Miss Esty, if you could raise your hand. Miss Esty is our full-day kindergarten teacher. Miss Cameron is our EL teacher. She will be translating for us tonight, and Mrs. Oliver is our health aide. So if you could raise your hand, Mrs. Oliver. We just want to introduce everyone. One thing about Glendale is that we pride ourselves on being respectful, responsible, being safe, and being a problem solver. At Glendale, we do have something called PBIS, and we work towards our kids just building themselves to becoming great citizens. And we use these 4 principles to make sure that happens on a daily basis.
Estamos muy orgullosos en el comportamiento de los niños en Glendale y usamos las principales que está escrito, siempre tiene respeto, ser responsable, etcétera, para asegurar esto.
Mrs. Kerrigan and Mrs. Donnelly was able to recognize lots of familiar faces. So we know some of the parents here tonight already have students who attend Glendale. However, I would like to share a few wonderful things about Glendale. Currently, we have about 270 students. Our school goes from kindergarten to 5th grade. Glendale is a historical building. It was opened in 1901. I think it is the only historical building, school building presently. Our students come from Glendale, Springdale, Hollydale, Woodlawn, and Lincoln Heights. Approximately 76% of our students do receive free and reduced lunch. And if you heard me mention earlier, we have a half day and full day kindergarten classes, so that there will be options in regards to your child attending kindergarten.
Tenemos 200 estudiantes en la escuela y son de comunidades de Princeton, Glendale, Hollydale, Woodlawn. Y el edificio abrió en 1900. Tenemos kinder por todo el día y mediodía.
Okay. I know some of us are here not only for kindergarten, but also here for preschool. Princeton's preschool program are actually located at Woodlawn, Evendale, and Springdale. And the student has to be 3 years old. The classes are blended. They serve students with some disabilities. Our Glendale kids who are in preschool, they attend the Woodlawn or the Springdale school. If they don't have room there, we send names to our Head Start program. We actually do have a Head Start program that is housed at the Glendale building.
Los programas de preschool están en Woodlawn, Evendale, en Springdale. Hay uno más que se llama Head Start, que no es afiliado con Princeton, pero está en la escuela Glendale, si quieres esto.
So as I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, Mrs. McGahey, our half-day kindergarten teacher, you can see her, what she looks like and see her standing in front of her door. But unfortunately tonight, she lost her voice. So I'm gonna let Mrs. Kerrigan, our instructional coach, share a few things about her and about our half-day kindergarten program.
Hey, everyone.
I'm sorry. Es la maestra Mrs. Jordan. Desafortunadamente, ella no puede hablar hoy. Entonces vamos a presentar cosas sobre Mrs. Jordan. Ella enseña por mediodía.
Okay, so at Glendale, we offer half-day and full-day kindergarten. If you choose half-day kindergarten, our half-day students get the same curriculum and the same content, the same state standards as our full-day, but in a shortened amount of time. So our half-day students come to school just in the morning. They come from 9 until about 12:10.
Si quiere mediodía, los estudiantes van a estudiar los mismos subjectos como en todo el día. Empieza a las 9:15 hasta 12.
So they get, while they're at school, they get all the content areas, they get reading, they get math, they get some social studies and science through the themes that they work through during school. So for our kindergartners, every 2 weeks has a different theme, and all of their reading, their writing, science and social studies is all centered around that theme.
¿Quieres la cámara o así?
Lab time each day, which is kind of like their time to explore with other students on various subjects and content areas.
Le puse Sofía Cruz, pero aquí está mi foto.
Wait,
Azucena.
Azucena.
No es Azucena. Oh, sí.
Sí,
Lee el libro.
papá de Sofía Cruz, ¿puede cerrar el micrófono, por favor?
Ok.
Gracias.
Wait, is that a picture?
Sí.
One thing I do want to share about Miss McGahey, if you didn't read her bio, that this is her 7th year teaching kindergarten. So that's a pretty long time teaching kindergarten, and she says she loves it. So that's always important, to love what you do.
Hace 7 años que Miss McGahey está enseñando kinder y los estudiantes en kinder van a recibir lectura, matemáticas y ciencia y estudios sociales entre temas durante la semana.
Next, we're going to introduce our next fabulous kindergarten teacher. Her name is Mrs. Esty.
Y vamos a introducir Mrs. Esti, una maestra fabulosa.
Hello, I am Mrs. Esty. My first name is Kim. This is my second year teaching, and it's also my second year teaching at Glendale. And I absolutely love teaching kindergarten. I have a passion for it, and I enjoy it so much. And I have a bachelor's in literature and writing, and I also have a master's in teaching from Mount St. Joe University. And
Wait 1 minute, Miss Esti.
yeah,
Give me a
sure.
That's
Go
okay.
ahead.
No, es el segundo año para Miss Esti para enseñar kinder y en Glendale. Y la maestra le encanta enseñar a los niños. Tiene 2 certificados, uno para educación y uno para literatura.
Yeah, and I absolutely love what I do, and I love working for Glendale and the Princeton School District, and I'm excited to meet all the new kindergartners next year.
Y absolutamente le encanta enseñar los estudiantes de kinder en Glendale. Está muy emocionado para conocer a los estudiantes nuevos.
Now, Mrs. Esty is going to share some things about what the students will be learning while they are in kindergarten.
So the 2 focuses are reading and math, and our reading program is called Success for All. We would call it SFA. It is a research-based reading program that meets the needs of all students. And some things that they would learn in kindergarten would be phonological awareness, which is what that is like learning syllable counts, rhyming, and we also teach phonics, which that's when they learn letter sounds, letter names. And once they can do those 2 things, they start learning those early reading skills where they can start blending words together and reading words. And they, by the end of kindergarten, the goal is that they will be reading.
El programa que usamos en Glendale se llama Éxito para Todos. Enseña sonidos, nombres de las letras, comprensión, vocabulario y finalmente los estudiantes van a juntar sonidos para formar palabras.
And then we always have a theme for 2 weeks. And we read lots of stories about the theme, which helps them learn vocabulary and comprehension.
Y tiene un tema diferente cada 2 semanas y va a revisitar el tema durante las 2 semanas para asegurar que está aprendiendo vocabulario y la información sobre el tema.
And then we use a math program called iReady, which some things that they learn in math would be number recognition, counting, shapes. We move on to adding and subtracting and measurement.
En matemáticas usamos un programa se llama iReady. Van a aprender números, cómo contar, nombres de las figuras, cómo sumar y restar y medir.
And iReady, we use it for both math and reading, but it is our main math program that we use. And it is a computer-based program where students get on the computer and they, when they get on the computer, they play learning games and they have a path that they follow. And each path is uniquely designed for each specific student based on what they know.
iReady es basado en la computadora. Los estudiantes van a trabajar en la computadora y hay carriles específicos para cada estudiante y sus niveles.
And because we use iReady for both reading and math, and when the students get on the computer, they are learning what meets their needs through iReady.
I pretty much said that. You can go.
Okay.
Well, thank you for sharing, Mrs. Esty. Now, Mrs. Kerrigan is going to talk about some other services that are offered at Glendale.
All right, so at Glendale, we have a lot of additional services other than, just coming to school each day. We have a lot of supports in place. So we do have a school psychologist at our building. Her name is Marky Garris, and she is a resource if you have some situations that you think she could be helpful. She helps us with identification of students who may have a disability, students who need outside services, emotional support services for students. We have Title I services. Our building is a Title I school, so we receive federal funding for reading and math support for students. So we provide title services in some capacity. They look different, COVID versus non-COVID. We have EL services for students who are learning English as a second language. We offer intervention for students who not only have a learning disability, but students who may need some additional support. In our older grades, we do have a gifted support for a gifted teacher who provides math support, but we also have our classroom teachers who have their gifted hours as well, who can provide reading support within the classrooms. And we also have outside services that are used as needed as far as speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, all of those. And then we have school-based counseling services within our building and can also make referrals to outside services as needed as well.
Tenemos muchos servicios. Tenemos una psicología, se llama Marky Garris, y puede ofrecer apoyo emocional, con lengua, con ayuda extra, y podemos también ofrecer servicios de terapia, de hablando, consejeros en la escuela y adentro de la escuela.
Thank you, Mrs. Kerrigan, for sharing. Now, here's the most important part is that how do we get your kids registered for kindergarten? How many people have heard of final forms? Raise your hand if you have heard or seen the word final forms yet, if you have a kid at, in the Princeton School District. Hopefully I see some, the screen I'm looking at, hopefully I see some hands up, because final forms is actually the online format that we use in order to receive any type of documents like emergency medical forms. Everything will go through final forms. You will register your child through final forms. If you have a student who already attends Princeton City School District, you should receive either an email or a phone call stating that tomorrow, all students in grades K through 12 will be able to register for the 21st, 22nd school year. One thing I want to show you is how to get to final forms. If you go to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Todos los estudiantes registrar en el programa se llama Final Forms. Usamos para todos los documentos para los estudiantes en el año que viene. La directora va a mostrar cómo puede usar Final Forms.
Okay. If you go to Princeton's website and you click right here on the Welcome Center, and if you see it to the left right here is Final Forms, you will go there and click. And you will notice that it says login. If you haven't already submitted paperwork, if you haven't updated through Final Forms, you will have to create an account. If you already have a student who attends Princeton and you have an account, that means you went through the process of setting up your password and you began filling out the forms. Then all you have to do is go through your account and you can add your kindergartner. So, but
Si ya tiene una cuenta, puede seguir con otros estudiantes nuevos en Final Form. Si nunca hizo esto, necesita login y crea una cuenta.
We will also have a name for you at the end of this in case you have any trouble with logging into Final Forms.
También vamos a dar un nombre al fin de la presentación si ustedes tienen retos para entrar en Final Forms.
There are actually a few forms that you will have to upload if you have a kindergartner. I believe it's the dental, and I believe there might be one medical form. There will be a packet on Glendale's website that you can download the packet, or you can even stop in the office and we will give you a kindergarten packet. But besides these two forms, everything will be filled out in Final Forms.
Hay dos formularios que necesita imprimir y entregar sobre dental y medical. El resto está en Final Forms electrónicamente.
Okay, I'm gonna allow our health aide, Mrs. Oliver, share some information with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to let you know that when you fill out, we need current information as far as telephone numbers. If your telephone number is to change, please let us know as soon as possible so that we have current information just in case we need to contact you about your child. We also ask that for pre-K and kindergartner that you send your child with a change of clothes, shirt and shorts or shirt and pants, depending on the season, as well as some socks, just in case for any accidents that may occur, whether they're outside playing or whether they are have an accident.
Es importante que tenemos un número de teléfono actual. Si ustedes tienen estudiantes en kinder o pre-kinder, queremos que ellos llevan ropa alternativa si hay accidentes o están jugando afuera y la ropa es sucio.
We also ask that if possible, you know how to set up your voicemail on your cell phones so that if you are unable to answer your phone, we can leave a message. That becomes very important if there's ever a medical emergency.
También queremos que ustedes activa voicemail en sus celulares porque es muy importante que podemos contactarles en una emergencia.
Please fill out all forms, medical forms, as much as possible. Put any allergies and medication, whether they take it at school or just take it at home, on the form. And if you have any questions or need any help filling it out, please contact me and I will help you.
Asegurar que llena los formularios lo mejor que puedes con toda la información que tiene. Si no puede, podemos ayudarles, pero si los estudiantes necesitan tomar medicina, etcétera, necesitamos saber esta información.
To enter into preschool and kindergarten, you must be up to date on your immunizations. You can go to any of the health centers. Lincoln Heights is one, Hamilton County Health Center, and make an appointment and tell them that you need immunizations for school.
Tiene que tener todas las vacunas antes de entrar en la escuela. Hay varias clínicas, Springdale and Lincoln Heights, que tiene precios buenos. Y solamente necesita decir que necesitamos immunizations para escuela. vacunas para la escuela.
We will also do a hearing and vision screening. When your kids enter pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, and first, third, fifth grade, we will do that.
También
Hearing and
vamos a
vision.
tener exámenes de escuchar y mirar, al principio de kinder, pre-kinder, primer grado, tercer grado, y I'm sorry, you said first, third, and
First, fifth. First, third, and fifth. It's all the odd years.
y quinto grado.
Yes. Last thing, each year the computer system will let us know when there's any more immunization shots are due, and we will notify you by letter to let you know that your child needs more shots.
Y si sus estudiantes necesitan más vacunas, vamos a mandar correos a las casas para avisarles.
Thank you very much.
Gracias,
Oliver.
You're welcome.
I just want to say once again that there are a couple of forms, that dental form and that physical form. It is in the kindergarten packet, and that will be on Glendale's website as well as at our office. So you can get it either of those two ways. Next is Mrs. Donnelly, who's the secretary. She's going to talk about tuition.
Good evening. Also to piggyback on the forms, the packets that we have, they are in English and Spanish to register for final forms if they need to come in and pick that up. It's in the packet, the registration packet for kindergarten and preschool.
Tenemos los paquetes en la escuela Glendale en español y inglés. Si ustedes quieren venir a la escuela para los paquetes.
Okay, so for full day kindergarten, it is tuition based. And when you do fill out your forms for registration, there's a fee subsidy application that you will fill out because it is based on your income. So it's prorated. The full tuition amount is $386 per month for full kindergarten. Half day kindergarten is free.
La costa está basado en sus ingresos, entonces si puede mostrar los ingresos, quizás va a recibir una cuenta diferente.
So they will be required to show proof of income, and depending on the income and the amount of children and adults in the household is how the tuition is calculated. And I will let all families know that will owe tuition before the school year starts, what that amount will be. They may decide to move to half day.
Entonces, la matrícula está basado en ingresos y también número de estudiantes en la familia. Si puede mostrar los ingresos, Ms. Donnelly puede explicar la cuenta para la escuela, para el año.
That's it. Very good. And if anyone has any questions, please call the office.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Donnelly. Ms. Donnelly's actually going to talk about lunch now.
Y si tiene más preguntas, puede llamar Glendale. Hay una persona que habla español en la oficina.
Okay, so I guess I don't know what's going to happen next year lunch-wise, but there are free and reduced lunch applications that will come home at the beginning of the school year. It's important that those are filled out yearly to determine whether you qualify for free or reduced lunch. And until that application is filled out and approved, your child will be responsible for paying for breakfast and or lunch.
So, los estudiantes pueden llevar su almuerzo o puede comprar almuerzo en la escuela. Hay aplicaciones para almuerzo gratis o reducido, pero es después de llenar y entregar los formularios que va a cambiar el precio.
This year, everyone is free, but in last year, the lunch was $2.25 and breakfast was $1.10.
Este año almuerzo es gratis por COVID, pero en el año pasado cuesta $2.25 por día.
Can I share one more thing so the parents know? Half-day kindergartens, they do receive breakfast, but they don't receive lunch, Mrs. Donnelly. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Right now, I believe they are receiving a bag on Fridays, however.
For the following week.
Right,
Yes,
the half-day kids though receive it right now because everyone is receiving free lunch and the take-home bags. Some of our kindergartners this year are taking home, half-day kindergartners are taking home a bag of food at the end of the week, but unless this continues, that will not happen next year.
Los estudiantes en mediodía kinder solamente reciben desayuno, no reciben almuerzo porque regresan a las casas a las 12.
So now Mrs. Kerrigan is going to talk about attendance and how important it is for your student, for your child to be at school every day.
All right, so coming to school every day is super important. If your students miss 10%, which is like 18 days, it does make it harder for your students to learn how to read. So students can fall behind even if they just miss a day or two every 2 weeks. So, you know, whether it's preschool or kindergarten, it's still important. So getting your students there every day is the expectation. Of course, if they're sick, we do not want them to come to school. But if they aren't sick and, you know, we would like to see them every day to make sure they get started on the right foot as they begin their school career. So just like I said, starting in preschool and kindergarten, too many absences really can cause you to get behind.
En todos los grados, incluyendo pre-kinder y kinder, la asistencia es súper importante. Si faltan por lo menos 10% del día, es muy más difícil para aprender cómo leer. Entonces, si está enfermo, está bien. Sabemos que no debe asistir a la escuela, pero es importante para asistir.
Thank you so much. We're gonna talk a little bit about how students should kind of be prepared to come to kindergarten. Mrs. Estie's gonna share just a few things maybe that students are already doing before they start kindergarten.
Yeah, hello again. So some things that are good to come into kindergarten with is having them recognize their name and also writing their name in uppercase or lowercase letters or practicing their name, but especially of seeing their name. So is important.
Es importante antes de entrar en kinder para reconocer nombres con mayúsculos y minúsculos.
It is also very beneficial to have kindergartners know the names of letters and recognize those letters. And if they even know some of the sounds that
También es importante, es mejor si pueden reconocer letras, nombres de las letras, quizás sonidos de las letras también.
And then they should be able to recognize numbers from 1 to 20 and also be able to count from 1 to 20.
Deben reconocer números 1 hasta 20 y contar hasta 20, 1 hasta 20.
And then it's also very important that they have self-help skills, such as using the restroom, tying their shoes, zipping their clothes, or buttoning their clothes, things like that. So because we want to help them be independent and be able to do those things on their own.
Y queremos que los estudiantes están independientes en el baño para atar zapatos y para subir los abrigos, suéteres, etc.
And we do have a each kindergarten room does have a bathroom in our room. So it's very easy for them to just get up and go to the bathroom when they need to go, but just making sure they can do it independently. And also they will need some practice, you know, holding a pencil and being able to grip the pencil so they can start writing as soon as they start kindergarten, to be able to write their letters, their names, and color. There's lots of coloring. So gripping a pencil is important for kindergartners.
Hay un baño adentro de cada kinder, entonces es muy fácil para los estudiantes ir al baño. Queremos que puedan agarrar un lápiz antes de entrar en la escuela y puede cortar con tijeras.
And then also having scissor skills. So being able to cut with scissors, how to hold a pair of scissors. And you know, we use like the small scissors that for little kindergartner hands, but being able to maneuver the scissors and cut paper is important to have practice with before they come to kindergarten.
Si todo el mundo puede cerrar los micrófonos ahora, por favor. Si tienen preguntas, puede escribir las preguntas en chat abajo de la pantalla.
I will say, I'm not sure, but you could Google, like, if you Google, like, what to know before kindergarten, I'm sure a little page would pop up and give you a nice list of things that you could practice over the summer before kindergarten so they come prepared.
So hay listas en Google para saber todas las cosas que estudiantes deben saber antes de entrar en kinder.
Thank you, Miss Esty, for sharing.
I just want to add one more thing. Making sure they know how to wash their hands and being able to sing a song while they wash their hands is also very important, not only in kindergarten, but through this whole pandemic. It's extremely important to know, you know, they understand that not just running water and soap real quick, but actually taking time to wash their hands properly.
También es muy importante que los estudiantes saben que lavar las manos por 20 segundos pueden cantar una canción como ABC para asegurar que los manos están muy limpias.
We are just almost at the end, but before we leave, we just really want to encourage all of our parents to join our PTA. Our PTA is a large part of our success. They fundraise for us. They support so many projects right now. They are supporting our readathon. They do a major part with Mayfate, although we're not going to be able to have it this year due to the COVID, but they support our teachers and they just do so many fabulous things for our students. And so we want to encourage you to join so that you can get involved, because as we say, when parents get involved, children do better in school. Now, I'm not sure if anyone has any questions. Mrs. Donnelly, did anybody type anything in the chat box?
Give me 1 second to translate that last one. Queremos que todo el mundo juntar en PTA. PTA es la asociación para padres para participar en las cosas en la escuela, porque si los padres participan, los estudiantes salen mejor.
As far as the chat, everything that was in, there were just a couple questions and they've been addressed.
Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, one thing I do want to say about final forms is that you have to have an email. And it's very important that you share that email, because We do send out a lot of things through email. I send out file blasts through email. I can send out that means like to everyone in the school building. You have to have an email, and because that's the way Final Forms will send you your code and for you to be able to set up your password. So if you don't have an email, it's very important that you do get an email so that you can sign up for Final Forms.
Para usar Final Forms, y es la única manera para llenar los documentos, tiene que tener un correo electrónico. Si tiene un celular smart, tiene un correo electrónico o puede buscar para otras formas para correo electrónico.
And this is one more reminder that you can register your kindergartner tomorrow, starting tomorrow. But not only your kindergartner, if you have another child at Princeton, you may begin to sign them up for the 21st, 22nd school year tomorrow. And as I showed you, if you go to Princeton's website, the Welcome Center and the Final Forms are on the left.
Y puede registrar los estudiantes mañana. Otra vez, si ir al sitio del distrito de Princeton, Centro de Bienvenidos, hay un botón para Final Forms.
And I promised you a name. If you have problems with Final Forms, call Princeton and ask for Debbie Birch. She will go through the
Para
process.
entrar, se llama el Centro de Bienvenidos, pregunta para Debbie Birch. Ms. Harkness, if they're Spanish speakers, can they ask for Ana? Martina?
This was really directed towards Debbie.
Sana. Yeah, what's up?
Okay.
641,000.
Oh, y número de Debbie Birch está abajo, 513-864-1000.
Well, we thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to working with you and your children coming to Glendale next year. I mean, kindergarten is an exciting year. They're going to learn so much, and it's just creating that love of learning. That's what we will do next year. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
Gracias por venir.
Buenas noches.
We'll see some of our friends tomorrow.
Thank you.